got a degree.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this workshop. This is going to be an electric guitar workshop, and it's going to be in the style of worship music, okay? And it's not necessarily going to be how to learn songs and things like that. That's another space. This is going to be for improvising lead guitar parts and just like filling up the song. So maybe you've learned the lead guitar part for the bridge or the chorus or the solo, but you want to know what to do when the guitarist is just strumming the verse, and you want to know how to fill it up. And Shaun is going to give us some pointers. Shaun has been playing electric guitar in worship bands for about 12 years. He's really experienced, and he's going to blow your socks off.
Yeah. So what we'll do today is we're going to just look at your normal chord pickings to create like your open chords to create.
Let's show them.
Let's
show them. So we're just going to do G, D, E minor, C.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he's gonna fill it up. This workshop is gonna be for you if you're like a beginner player, but also intermediate players are also gonna benefit a lot from this. So it's beginner, intermediate style.
Right, okay. So take it away, and then I'll fall in as soon as.
Okay, here we go. G, D, E minor, C, and he's gonna just fill it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Show us something like around here in the middle of the neck. What are we also going to teach?
Alright, so essentially when you're doing this in a band, you've probably got your pads going where there's a lot of effects going on, so a lot of the band occupies this sort of
the acoustic guy's area, probably playing around here.
So what happens is you got your electric guitar doing what I'm doing, or your second guitar sometimes if you have one, filling it up. You've got your acoustic filling it up, and you got your pads, or your piano usually plays in this area. What you can then do is you just go down to an inversion, which basically is an octave of this area here.
Okay.
Right. Cool. So
show us what that's going to sound like.
So yeah, let's do that, and then Jaco will get into
3,
it.
4. So this is the intro for the workshop. That's the kind of thing we're going to go later. We're going to go higher up the neck and things, and we're going to play in different keys and things like that. We're not going to talk about tone in this video. We'll make a separate video for that because it's quite a complicated setup, and there's a lot of points. I just think if we could just give some pointers on tone, just like 2 minutes. If you could just quickly, just 2 minutes.
Quick story. We were playing at our local university, and I come from metal. Right, yeah. So what I used to do is overgain. Okay. Overgain. So like, let's say for example, you get to a worship set and you get something like, I'm just gonna overdo it, and then you got the guys going. And
it's too much.
It sounds and feels so good to do that, right? Yeah. But in a worship setting, you don't want to. How do you say? You don't want to distract the people from what they're there for.
Okay,
It's not about you. It's not about how you feel and how good you look doing what you're doing, right? So the most important thing is just keep it as clean as you can.
Yeah.
So what the guy said at that time was when I was starting to sort of work my way into worship bands, and what happened was he said, "Wow, it's so amazing. You guys play clean, so the sound guy can use you in the mix."
Yeah.
So my approach then is to try and be as clean but still as full as possible.
Okay, cool.
Right, because
you don't want to be tinny.
No, because I can't exactly show you right now like what that would sound like because of all the effort I've put into getting to this point. But try and keep it clean. Treble is not such a good thing because what you're doing is you're taking over let's say the hi-hats and the rides and the crashes.
Okay.
And that's not your space. It's for the drums to do that. So what you want to do is you want to find yourself in the upper mid area, which is relatively clean. And then what we do is you just get yourself, if you can afford it, just try to get yourself a delay pedal to start with.
Just to
a
make
delay
it
and a drive pedal that you can keep it.
Okay.
Just keep it down a little bit.
So a little bit of overdrive, a little bit of delay.
Yeah.
That's like the basics.
No, so for example, I've got a Timmy clone that I built.
Okay.
You guys would have heard it before. Jaco also plays with one that I made. So if I play clean, look, my amp isn't super clean.
Yeah.
It's just if I push too hard.
So it's a little bit broken down.
It's just on that edge where it's sort of nice, and then all I do is for the worship sounds, I just put my Timmy on just slightly over it. It's nice and transparent. So just basically you get the grit, but you don't lose the tone.
And it's also, if you play louder, then it becomes more dirty.
The harder I push
But if you play really gently, then it sounds like totally clean.
Yeah, because you want to not push the amp too much.
Okay, so I think that's good for tone. If you just summarize that, if I can summarize it for you,
go for
like a little bit of overdrive, not too much, and then a little bit of delay, just to kind of beefen it up. And if even with the amp, you can have it on the distortion channel, on the overdrive channel, but the distortion is really, it almost sounds clean.
Yes.
Okay.
Compared to what you would have bought the amp for to start with, because we don't want to be loud, right?
Yeah, we want to be very loud. And it depends on the song. There is contexts where you want the really loud, but not Planet Shakers. Okay, but anyway, so we're gonna start with three chord shapes, and I want to start with those three that you played, and we're gonna first do it in the key of G, and I want you to quickly play those three chord shapes with a close-up, and then we'll go into teaching them and what the theory behind it and things like that. So I'm just gonna shout out the chords. Let's do E minor, C, G, D. Okay. And let's stay at each chord for a while. Okay, E minor.
All right.
1, 2, E minor. Now we go to C. Now to G. And now to D. And back to E minor. Now to C. And to G. So let's go with the first shape, the E minor. What do you do for the E minor there?
All right, what we're doing is it's you can think of it as a bit of a hybrid between your normal E minor bar chord, which is just there on your 7th fret, starting on the A string.
Okay.
All right, but then and also, so just keep that in mind because this note here.
Okay, that's going to be, so that's derived. So the shape that you're actually using looks like this. But it's derived from this E minor. It comes like before it, if you want it to talk like that.
Just so that you know where it is and why it is.
So this E minor is a shape often used, right?
Yes.
At the 7th fret.
Yeah. So what you do is you imagine you playing the D. So you know a D plays like that. It's a usual D, right? So you just slide it to where your finger was there, to that note there.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Right. Of your
that's our E minor there.
Mm.
Okay. And this is going to be on the 5th fret, yeah.
No, the 7th fret.
Yeah, the 7th fret is this one.
Okay,
right?
yes.
And then you morphing that into this shape.
Yeah, so I'm sliding the D. I'm barring the D essentially.
Yeah.
To where the E would be, right?
And this pink note is the connection note.
Yes, so that's the connection note, right?
Yeah, so that's the.
So if you then look, you've basically got an E minor 7th actually.
Okay.
Right.
So you've actually got that note you can also use right over there, right?
Yes, and then this, so basically you've got yourself an E minor 7th there, so then you can just play.
But you don't have to use that one, I'm going to put it in
No, it's just for the root note. But it's sometimes nice, but it depends on what everyone else is playing as well and where you want to fit inside the mix. If you don't want to get into that space up here again, rather leave that one out and just play that shape.
And you use the same shape for G.
Yes, it is exactly the same shape because an E minor is the natural minor of G, right?
But yeah. So the relative natural. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write down this shape as well for G. You can download the PDF for this in the description, and we're going to put timestamps in the description. So this is gonna be a G shape, but then you don't have that E minor root that you're gonna
use. Not anymore. No. Then your G's that is your G root, right there.
Is going to be that. It's going to be your root note. So.
And the very nice thing about that is you can play in between, let's say for example G and E, if you can play this note, I'm just going to put the E there just for the sake of.
Okay, let's play E minor G and I'll just see what you
show.
E minor
and then G.
E minor.
But if I stay on it the same way, keep
it also works. But it doesn't follow the chords that nicely, yeah.
But it's still nice. You can still use it for voicing, for a voicing in your in the song as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
So this shape is the first shape, right? Okay,
so that works in again, as Jaco said, and as we've been showing for the E minor and the G.
Okay, can we do the next chord have a C shape?
Yes.
What do you use for C? Okay, so that is at the 5th fret as well. So what you'll notice about these shapes is they really connect nicely. So here you've got a bar there. I'm just going to draw that like that. And that's at the 5th fret, right?
Yes, if you're going to do it that way, yeah.
It's at the C.
So basically how you construct this note is as you would play your A over there, as you play your A, you just slide it down to your root, your third for the C.
Okay, nice.
And then you just replace these three fingers, replace those that are there just with barring it.
Okay, nice.
So it's just your G, so your D, G, and your B string.
Yeah.
And then the nice thing is for the transition between those notes is this note here, which is part of your C bar chord. Your G is also here. It's that same connecting note again as the E minor.
The E minor, yeah. I see what you mean.
So basically you can go from your G, you just lift your pinky, and then you get your C.
So this note is a very important note there. This one, it's like an anchor kind of note.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah, and you'll see as well when we get to D.
So between the G and the C, there's very little change.
One finger just lifts up to the bar note, or to the barred note. Yeah.
So let's just. I'm gonna go back to this scene, and we're just gonna talk about. Just play around with those three chords.
Okay.
So let's do E minor.
Yeah.
Let's just stay there for a while, and then let's go to C. So your hand is really just staying in one place. And G. E minor. Do that in any key, right? You can use those shapes.
Because remember, as you would with your normal bar chords, you can just then shift it up. Like let's say for example we were playing in the key of G, which is there. Now G is there. So 1, 2 down is your A, right? So if you take this whole progression here, 1, 2 down,
and you make it
in the key of A.
Okay,
right?
So let's just quickly show you. Let's just talk about. Oh, let's add one more chord to the 3 shape. Let's add the D chord before we change keys.
Before we go
okay.
Change keys.
So where are you gonna? What are you gonna do for the D?
All right. So for the D, again we're not gonna use the D bar chord for the D because then we'd have to go all the way down to there.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take again your A chord and you're gonna bar it to the 5th fret for the D.
Nice.
All right. So basically what happens is you can you've got this bar now with these 3 fingers. You've got this bar here.
Okay,
but
cool.
That's too complicated to go sometimes, right?
Okay, cool.
Because it's a bit of a slide. It's
too much of a slide. Okay.
Yeah, to start with. So what you can do is this is your what you've been playing with the whole time. So all you do is where that bar is there, you just take this pinky, put it back to the D.
Okay. I'm gonna write this down.
Well, not to the D, but...
Okay, so you got a root note there, and you're also still at the 5th fret.
Yes. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the D on the A string,
and you're kind of
muting the second
one.
string.
So you're muting that one with over there.
Yeah, and then I'm just playing the octave, which is again the D, and then the major third.
Okay.
So basically, how that then works in this whole structure is you're gonna get your E minor or G, your C. Then if you play something like that again, back to your E minor or G, all you do is you just pull this back and you lift your finger up to the top there.
Okay, so these shapes we can kind of think them as hybrid shapes. So this shape, let's just cancel this shape I think for now. And this one, and we're gonna call this one the first shape. We're gonna call this and G and G
and G
and G, a G or E minor. So this is like the hybrid shapes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we've learned from the E minor you can add that finger.
For that lower.
Okay.
Sort of note going there,
okay. And then this shape, the C, if I'm correct, it can also be an A minor, right?
Yeah.
Because you also have an A minor in the key of G.
Yeah, because A and C is very sort of connected.
A and C.
A minor.
And C.
Yeah. We'll do a political show some other time.
Okay.
I'm an economist, so here we go.
D and B minor can also work together.
Yeah.
So now you've got 3 shapes. This is actually quite amazing, right? So you've got 3 shapes that we've just learned that you can use to play 6 chords.
Yes.
Okay.
So you essentially cover most of your
scale. Songs. Yeah. Okay. So let's do it. I'm just gonna shout chords and you just play the shapes.
All right. Just in this key. All
in
right.
this key. Okay. So we're gonna start with E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm gonna go to A minor. Now I'm gonna go to C. Kind of change that shape a little bit. And let's go to D. E minor. C. D. B minor. Okay, so you're changing the shapes a little bit.
Okay, so what I did there, the only thing I changed was
you used this shape for the D.
I used that shape for the A minor. And the D, yes, at the end, yes.
At
so
the
let
end,
me show you first what I did with the A minor. Yeah. I'll explain to you why I did that now.
Okay.
All right. If we're going too fast, you guys can obviously just pause. Have a look at what we did before the time.
Play it slow.
Yeah, obviously, right. So
0.75 speed.
And this is where you find yourself in the environment where you have to create something.
Yeah.
Is that you would then automatically, with the tools that you're learning, just with these, just moving 1 or 2 fingers,
you'll hear it's
changing where it needs
something.
to go, right?
Yeah.
So where we said the C is exactly the same for the A minor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What I did was I just added.
Jaco
can just show that on the C and the A minor.
Let me just show the close up here. So you got the C shape.
The C
shape
there.
is just like that, right?
Right. So what I did was I just put my ring finger that's not doing anything, and made it useful, and put it on the A.
So I'm gonna draw a arrow. I'm gonna make this note blue, right?
Yeah.
Just a blue, and we're gonna say the A minor is blue. So the A minor, if you add that note, it makes it an A minor.
So then you get like it makes a chord sound fuller sometimes.
Yeah.
If that's what you want. So instead of having it like that all the time, you can still afford. Yes, it gives it a nice.
And you're following, especially if you're going to be picking the strings individually.
Yeah.
You got C, and then A minor. Really nice, yeah. Let's go to D. Okay, cool. And how did you make that D? You also made a B minor in a certain way. You used the same C shape thing, right?
Yeah, but that follows with what we are going to talk about when you transpose to another key. Is if this shape works for a C, in this case it'll work for
a D,
a D as well. So basically it's just that note. I just found that note is there. So just, and I tend to use that when we're lifting into something.
Like if you're going to a bridge or something. Let's just get this.
Yes.
Okay, so you have certain. So all these shapes, it's like a little. It's like somebody having a bunch of weapons in their arsenal.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if the song is chill, then you'd rather use this D. But But if it's building up, then you're going to use this one.
Yeah. Like let's say for example you're going into a chorus or there's a part in the phrasing that where they go up and down. It's nice sometimes just to, even if you're just going. It's just to these sets of tools that we're giving. There's actually what most of the bands do anyway.
Yeah.
The majority of bands use this. So if you go and learn like
any
your
song,
typical songs, we also
but sometimes
have to be careful who we reference. Because
sometimes they don't teach this.
Yeah.
Like it's not part of the tutorial.
Yeah.
The tutorial will be maybe the certain part or something.
Yes.
But then these things they'll just play to fill up when there's not a specific part being played. Yeah.
So you'll see there are different tutorials online where they'll show you some parts, but they tend to be just based around this.
Yeah, based around those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly see if we transpose this shape, this whole thing. Let's just play in the key of F.
Key of F.
Yeah.
You're making me think. Just one down.
So we're basically taking everything a whole step down.
Yeah, 1, 2.
Okay, so that's now an F.
Yes.
Okay. So each chord you transpose likewise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're still going to use just those 3 shapes.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm going to put a capo on because guitarists don't play in the key of F. Except lead guitarists. So I'm going to be playing in the key of E. And he's going to be playing in the key of F.
And that's nice because you sometimes struggle with like your D minors.
Yeah.
That's like it's not a natural thing in your
B flat.
flat. So
so you're going to be using that. Okay, so I'm going to call out the chords as if they're in the key of F. And I'm also going to call out the numbers for people who play with numbers.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the 1 chord, the F. 1. Let's just stay there. Let's go to the 4 chord, B flat. Now let's go to C, the 5th chord. Let's just stay there. Back to the 1. To the 4 chord. To the 5th chord, to the C. To the 4th chord, the B flat, to the 5th chord, never be the same. Back to the 4th chord, and then the 5th chord the same. Okay, so let's quickly just close up. We have gone close up with these shapes, but just in the key of F. No. Okay, so let's show me your F chord.
Right, so the F is just essentially just.
And then for the D minor, the 6th chord.
If you get lost, here's a trick. If you get lost because you need to just on the fly, someone says play an F. If you look at these notes, I mean, you should know
the top
ones because you do bar chords. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, etc., etc.
Okay, cool.
So obviously, if you go 2 strings down and 2 strings forward, you get your octave.
Okay.
So if you're playing in,
two frets, right?
Yeah. So two strings down, two strings forward, you get your
okay, for the E. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So for your F, you would then get.
Okay, cool.
So then that.
And that goes. Okay, so that's your root. Now that's how you find it.
If they say jump and you're like, okay, where does this go? Boom.
So this is your starting chord. What you can actually do, I think, you just need to find the key. And then you use your ear to figure out which chord in the song is what. Would that be a good way to go about it?
Yeah.
Because it's only going to be one of these 3, right?
Yeah, with experience, but it's important to know what they are because what you can do is, and I've done this before in the past, you find yourself on stage in a couple of with 1,000 people in front of you.
Yeah, and then
and they shout out a song and you don't know what they're playing, right?
Yeah, and then you can't follow the chords.
So you go you shout over to the bassist, what key are we in? And he shouts out A. And you're like, okay, I've got experience with playing this progression. sometimes you'll find yourself missing something.
You'll miss something, yeah.
Missing something, but at least it sounds
But because
correct.
everything is so close together,
Yeah.
you can miss something and kind of slide into it.
Yeah. But it's best to know the song.
Yeah, I know. I know it's best to know the song, but I'm
It
just
helps.
saying, if you want to be lazy, you can.
Yeah.
So
and I've been as well.
we should make a course, electric guitar for lazy people. And then it shows you
Is
like
that not what this is?
hacks and shortcuts. Okay, but quickly play in the key of F, and I'm going to call out the chords, and we're
Alright.
just going to go a little bit slower.
Here we go.
So there's the
Try
F.
not to get copyrighted and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm still on the one chord. I'm still on the one chord. Very beautiful, right? Just simple. It's just not playing a lot of notes, just going for it. And then D minor to the 6th chord. Here we go. And D minor.
I haven't changed anything.
Just staying there, yeah. And then to the 4 chord, the B flat. Now there you're changing. And then to the 5th chord, the C. Now we're going to go to the 2 chord, G minor. I caught you off guard there. Let's go back to the 1, F.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. It's such a good idea, I think, for guitarists to force themselves to stay in one position.
Yeah.
Because what you do when you're a beginner, you're like, okay, D minor, B flat, F, C.
Yeah. That's
You
what
know?
you want to do that because your brain can't get the
other places for the notes.
Because the thing is, you don't teach yourself in the beginning. You're so eager to play guitar, you just want to play something.
Yeah, so you're
So
like,
you
what's
grab
the
the
easiest
book.
way to play D minor? Yeah,
So you grab the book, they say that's a B minor.
yeah, and then you just,
And
B
that's
minor
your,
now.
That's your B minor. And
And then you're just like, I know B minor, but actually there's 10 ways to play B minor.
hundreds,
More.
probably. Whatever number of combinations of
Okay,
that is.
let's
yes.
take those, we're just going to stick with those 3 shapes.
Yes.
And let's go to the key of, let's do something a little bit higher up, like the key of, or let's go a bit lower, the key of E.
Yeah, that's
Keep E.
that's a nice one.
Okay, so E.
Okay, so you've got.
So how did you know you were supposed to play there? You just followed the
Well,
route.
I know where the notes are on the neck,
Okay, yeah.
even though I haven't played for 4 years.
But what if somebody just knew the first note?
Then 2 down, 2 frets forward, 1 2.
2 2. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got two strings down, 1 2, and then you got 2 frets this way.
Yes.
Then you get the root note. Then you know that's your 1 chord.
Yes.
Okay, so let's play the 1 chord. So we're playing E, the 1 chord.
Right.
We'll have a link for the numbers and the all the chords in a key. Okay, so we'll have a link for
Yeah,
that.
that would be nice.
E. Okay, and then we go to the 4th chord, which is going to be an A. So he's just removing 1 finger. It's so crazy. It's simple. Now let's go to the 5th chord, B. Go back to the 1 chord. Now we're going to go to the 3 chord. G sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're playing the same shape that he uses for the 5th chord, right?
Yes.
Same shape. The 5th and the 3rd chord share the same notes as most of the time.
Essentially, yeah.
And you could make it more like a 3 chord by putting a ring finger down. And then let's go to the 4th chord. And to the 5th chord. Yeah. And to the 1. Let's go to the 2 chord. F sharp minor. To the 5th chord, B. Yeah. Okay, let's just close up for the
And if you
key
have a
E.
listen to what I'm doing, is I'm not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
But how familiar does it sound automatically to that song you were singing?
And it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It just
for worship.
complements. It's just like,
Perfect.
and you could strum louder if it's more intense,
Yeah.
or you could strum softer.
Yes.
And you could take those shapes and just play 2 of those notes. Actually, you don't have to play all 3.
Yeah. No, you can.
Let's say you're a beginner and you're like, oh, this is too intense. You could just take 2 of them, right?
Yeah, I think if you're going to do that,
Yeah.
rather focus on the G and the B string,
Okay. Okay.
And not the D and the G string, because then it just sounds like a power chord of like.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like trying to rock it out. So let's say, for example, we're playing there. You can get away with going.
To the 5th chord. Let's go to the A, to the 4. Yeah, so it still sounds really nice if you just use 2 notes.
Yeah, because I'm not just going.
Although that can work, it depends on the.
Yeah,
Once you played it with a nice tone, it's like, oh, that sounds good.
Everything sounds good with good tone.
Good tone. So good tone is the secret.
But
it's everything together.
Yeah.
If you have good tone, but you don't know how to come up with new voicings and things, then it's also bad.
Yeah, the voicings and what you play is more important than what you're using.
I also think so.
It is.
And the tone in your fingers and your tuning and things like that.
You go listen to some things like. What's a good example? Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have a good sound.
Yeah.
Like it's raw. It's
very
funky,
stripped down. Yeah.
But what they're playing is brilliant. That's why they're huge, because what they're doing is good. So
I think that's the main thing. Like you have to just get your freedom on your instrument.
Yeah.
And not stress too much of the exact parts. You have to be free to kind of know. Okay, if the song's building up, I can add that finger there.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Can we learn another 3 sets, 3 chords? Like let's say, let's hear in the key of G, right? Let's go back to the key of G. Or let's stay in the key of E.
Okay.
So if you're here in the key of E, what if you want to play here? And you don't want to play here.
If you're going to start there, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, we're going to have a different set of shapes.
Yeah,
right?
And you're going to be busier.
Okay, show me what you're going to do.
You'll be quite a bit busier. So
there's the E.
Let's just say you used your E, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what are
and then you're going to go to A.
So it's a new.
Okay, then that's your A.
You have to use the A there.
Okay, back to E. And then if you go to B, what are you going to play?
I would literally just have to go. If I was going to stay in the same voice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
I think it's good to teach like everything in one place.
Yeah.
So how do you play in the key of E just here,
remember,
without moving boom, boom, boom?
Yeah. I should add to what you just said now.
Yeah.
The important thing about playing is when you're playing an instrument in a band, you are occupying your space. The minute you start going all over the place, again, you start tripping over everybody else.
Yeah.
So you may as well just pull out, or the guy might as well take you out of the mix.
Yeah.
Sound guy.
Because he's like, he doesn't know what you're going to do. Are you going to stay there? Or are you going to be like, boom,
Look, if it's just you and a bassist and a drummer,
then you got the luxury.
You can do exactly what you want to do.
Okay, so play a bit in the key of E at the 7th.
So just before we continue with that, is to just explain to you just what those 3 notes is, what I did, because I changed them up a bit.
Okay.
Right.
But just play it first as an example, and then you can explain.
Okay.
So that's your E. Put it close up here. I'm gonna move this a little bit this way. I think that will be better because we can see a little bit better.
All right.
Okay, so E, 1, 2, 3, 4. A, C sharp minor. Okay, a B. Like your anchor note is there where the pinky is around there. You're kind of focusing around that, the B string.
Yes.
Wait a second. Face ID. I don't know. Okay, so let's just get that there. We're gonna do this right on. You can explain what you're doing. So you playing this E shape here.
Yeah, which is the same with
the same that you did with the D the other time.
Yes. Again.
Okay. So it's the same shape. It's just basically. You're playing it at the 7th fret, right? And your root note for this is going to be on the index finger there.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your shape, right?
All right.
And then when you go to the A, you do the same thing as what you did with the G, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's that D bar chord from there all the way down to.
So it's basically a D shape using for the A.
Yeah. Again, 1, 2 strings down from the A, 1, 2 string or frets forward.
Then you find it. So this is going to be at the 7th fret A. And we learned one new shape. The one you used for the B is a brand new shape, right?
And I did something interesting for the C sharp minor as well.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna learn something cool here. So this is for the B you did at the 7th fret. You were climbing up like this, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
I just played just those 3 there.
Okay.
You can play the bottom one as well if you want to. You can bar those last 2 if you'd like to, but I didn't use them.
So that's your root note there. You could potentially. So it's a good idea to learn like the full shapes and then kind of just learn a part of them.
Yeah.
Or play a part of them when you're playing live.
Yeah, because the thing is,
you could sometimes even play the B like just those 2 notes if you want to. Like,
agreed. Yeah.
If there's another guitarist probably going like this.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
And then there was that C sharp.
The C sharp minor. Okay, I want to see that because that's gonna be. I'm gonna write it as if so that it's all in the same position. So the C sharp minor is gonna be kind of similar to the E.
And then I just mute the rest of them. Yeah.
You mute the rest of them, yeah. So you just mute there. This is gonna be the C sharp minor. Oh, not G. Okay.
But you can also you can also just bar it there as well if you'd like to. That the E's.
Oh yeah.
Those 3 there. So it just depends. I just wanted the root note in there, but you can. Then it just makes it nicer.
Okay,
as well.
so those shapes together.
Yeah.
Let's start with the E again.
Okay.
A. So that's your D shape, right? And then B. What shape is that if you were to call it like the other one is D shape? That's the E shape, right? Or F shape?
Yeah, it's an E bar.
E.
So your E's there. So we're just taking the B there,
Okay,
the
cool.
E to the B, and then just playing.
And then C sharp minor.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Okay, let's stop it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop and then we just talk a bit.
Alright.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We'll make another part soon.
Alright.
Okay, peace. I was thinking.